All right, let's dive in. Today, we're not just looking at data, we're cracking a code. Think of it less like a spreadsheet and more like a crime scene, a puzzle just begging to be solved. You know that feeling when you look at a total mess of numbers or shapes and you just know there's a hidden message in there? That's what we're talking about. That's a detective's instinct, seeing those clues hiding in plain sight. And that's who you are today, a data detective. So, welcome. It's time to add some seriously powerful tools to your investigative toolkit. We're going to get you ready to crack any case that comes your way. Okay, first up, reading the visual evidence. Look, graphs aren't just boring charts. They're like photos from a crime scene. Every single one tells a story, and our first job is to figure out what they're telling you. Let's start with the line graph. Think of this as your go-to surveillance tool. It's perfect for tracking a suspect's movements, or, a quantity, over time. It answers that one crucial question: what's been going on here? And the clues here are super simple but really powerful. See a steep line? That means things are changing fast. A line that's rising? Well, that's your quantity going up. Falling line, it's decreasing. And if it's just a flat horizontal line, nothing's happening. The quantity is totally constant. All right, let's grab our next tool, the bar graph. This one's basically your police lineup. It lets you compare all your different pieces of evidence side by side. You can see in an instant which one shows up the most just by seeing which bar is the tallest. Super simple, right? But wait, there's a twist. A standard bar graph is great for comparing single things. A stacked bar graph, though, that's for when your evidence has layers. See those colored segments? Each one is like a clue within a clue, showing you what each bar is really made of. And finally, for our visual evidence, we've got the pie graph. This one is all about proportion. It shows you exactly how much each piece of evidence contributes to the whole case. The bigger the slice, the bigger its role in the story. Simple as that. Okay, detective, you've got the static evidence down. Now, things are about to get a little more dynamic. It's time to follow the sequence trail. This is all about spotting the pattern so you can predict the next move. You have to think of every number series as a coded message left at the scene. It might look like just a random jumble of numbers, but I promise you, there's always a logic to it, a pattern, and your job, it's to break that code. So how do we actually crack this? Let's take a look. 3, 4, 6, 9. The pattern isn't jumping out at me right away, so let's check the gaps between the numbers. From 3 to 4, that's +1. Okay. 4 to 6 is +2. 6 to 9 is +3. Ah, there it is. See the pattern? It's in the intervals. The gap increases by 1 each time. So the next one has to be +4, which means our next number is 13. Case closed. Now, these trails can get tricky, for sure. Sometimes you're not following one trail, but two. It's like two different series woven together. The secret is to pull them apart. Look at the odd number terms first, and then look at the even-numbered ones. They're usually two totally independent patterns. And what about when they throw letters at you? Don't panic. The secret weapon here is just to turn them into numbers. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, and so on. Once you do that, you'll realize it's just another number series in disguise, and you already know exactly how to crack those. All right, time for the final part of your training, detective. We're moving from numbers and letters to shapes. This is the most abstract kind of evidence, and it's going to require a sharp eye and a really logical mind. So let's get into decoding these visual clues. This is a classic puzzle you've probably seen before. You get a group of figures, and you're asked, which one is the odd one out? It's the classic, one of these things is not like the other problem. Your mission is to find that outlier, the one that just doesn't fit. Now, there are usually two main ways these things are set up. The first is a 4 versus 1 scenario. 4 of the figures will share some kind of hidden characteristic, and 1 just won't. The other setup is 2 pairs versus 1. You'll be able to find 2 pairs that have their own thing in common, which leaves one lone figure as the outlier. Okay, 2 more key skills for the toolkit: spotting hidden figures and identifying mirror images. For a hidden figure, you're looking for an exact shape, maybe rotated, but hidden inside a bigger, more complex picture. For a mirror image, here's a great pro tip. Focus on just one part of the figure, something that isn't symmetrical, and see how it gets reflected. That'll help you knock out the wrong answers really, really fast. Now, before we wrap this up, we have to cover the golden rules. Every good detective lives by a code, and this is ours. Seriously, getting these wrong can throw off an entire investigation. At most X means X or less. At least X means X or more, and between X and Y almost always includes X and Y. Memorize these. They are absolutely non-negotiable. And that's it. Your training is complete. You started with what looked like total chaos, and now you have a full detective's toolkit to bring some clarity to that chaos. Your first case is officially solved. So let's do a quick review of your new toolkit. You can read visual evidence, like graphs. You can follow sequence trails to predict what comes next. You can analyze abstract shape clues. And you know the golden rules. You are absolutely ready for this. You know, the great Sherlock Holmes once said, "The world is full of obvious things, which nobody by any chance ever observes." What you've learned here isn't magic. It's about training your brain to see what everyone else misses. So, I'll just leave you with this one question. Now that you can see the patterns, now that you have the tools to look past the chaos, what are you gonna uncover?